These are the days you wake up a little pep in your step, right? Browns clean up at the NFL awards yesterday. Congratulations to Steven. I cannot get cable guy out of my head. It's been in my head all night. Steven?
Are you team Steven Stefanski or Cliff Paul?
Okay. Were there votes that went to Steven Stefanski? Is that why it was as close as it was for D'Amico Ryans? Did people know his name is actually Kevin? Kevin! But they cleaned up last night. The Cavs! Nice job last night. Yeah! Just missed our boost again. That's all right.
Come on, Max.
I'm cashing on other places, so don't worry about that. I want to be positive. The coffee tastes amazing this morning. I went iced coffee, Ryan, because it's 60 degrees outside on a Friday.
Went to Dunkin' this morning.
Hell yeah.
Went to Dunkin' this morning, and she tried to give me an iced coffee.
Oh, it's iced coffee season, bro.
I was sick.
We're into it.
I was like, take that crap
Here we
back.
go.
Take that
Here
crap
we go.
back.
We're into iced coffee season,
and
right?
she gave me my... How are we into iced coffee season?
It's almost 60 degrees. One can make the case it's never not iced coffee season.
I could make that case very strongly.
We got all the positivity to talk about, yet some of you are off your rocker. Some of you are loons when it comes to how this stadium is going to go. Brook Park Dome, Super Bowl, timeout, bracket, morning update. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is the hot coffeeed one, Ryan Tyler. Iced coffee, man. We've done that as our 2 for Tuesday before. If I had to pick one, I might go iced forever.
That's insane.
Now, on a cold morning, yeah, you want that hot coffee. Today, dude, it's going to be 60. How did you not go iced coffee?
Because it's, well, you just said, because it's 60 degrees. It's not like it's 80 out.
Dude, 60 in Cleveland is borderline.
Yeah, I'll take it, but I'm hot
on.
Coffee year round.
Here we go. All right, what a day. All right, great job. We have a lot to get to from last night. Browns cleaning up at the awards. What does that mean for some of the Stefanski, Flacco's, Jim Schwartz, Myles Garrett? I got to take on that. Cavs with a nice solid win again last night. Trade deadline goes down. Knicks got a little bit better, yeah, maybe a little bit, but some of the other moves, of course, the Cavs didn't do anything. I applaud Kobe Altman for that. We'll discuss that coming up, and we bring the stadium back up. I want to start with all the other stuff. I got to get right to the stadium stuff. I put a poll out yesterday, and we were going to use it in our question this morning, and we retweeted it at Matt Fontana Show. Drops follow there, a hottest new Twitter account. Do we get a ranking for that? Shout out to all the great, dude. So many friends of mine, so many people that I care very dearly about are in the media, and the Bear rankings came out. I congratulations really to everybody. It was an awesome job. But how do people think a dome is more important than the location? So I put this question out yesterday. As everybody was discussing about, the Browns had to put a statement out, the city of Cleveland had to put a statement out, and the statements are what we think the current situation is. A little bit of a posturing move from the Browns to say we've got this land. If we got to move the stadium, we will. But I agree 1,000% with what Tom Withers of the Associated Press tweeted yesterday. That's all that is. And at the end of the day, that piece of property sold for $31 million a couple of years ago. Let's just say the Haslams bought it for $40, okay? That's an investment of $40 million to potentially save them hundreds of millions when it comes to negotiations with the city. And Ryan, they'll just flip it and sell it in a couple of years if they need to. Somebody'd want that property, right?
It's just a little squeeze on the city of Cleveland's lads.
There you go. So that's where I think this plays out. But it got me to thinking, because so many people got onto the new stadium, and if you build a new stadium, they're going to want a dome on it and all that. So I asked the question, what is more important to you? The location of the stadium, or if you get a dome on it? Ryan, it is overwhelming. People care more about getting a dome.
It's not even close.
Why?
It's not even close.
Really? And you and I are on the same page here. For us, it is location.
What do they say in real estate, Matt?
Location, location, location. Why is the dome so important to people? I need to get this question answered.
It's at 76.2 say dome's more important compared to just 23.8 say location.
Why?
That's over 400 votes.
Why? Seriously. And I'm going to try to put myself in the position of somebody that is all about we need the dome. So, don't even get me on the Super Bowl crap. I tried to explain it the best way that I could yesterday.
People weren't happy with that.
I know people were not happy with me. The IX Center, is that really what that big building is? Oh my God. Is that what the IX Center is? People are acting like I have not spent 34 years of my life in Northeast Ohio, okay? My grandma, one of my
Do you
grandmas.
even know where Brook Park is,
I've
Matt?
never heard of it, Ryan. Never heard of Brook Park, Ohio. My grandma lives in Broadview Heights, right? My dad, I used to ask him, Dad, can we take 230? I didn't know what it was as a kid.
I just imagine you 5 years old. Dad, can we go down I-71?
No, I want to go see the airport. When I was a kid, I would ask my dad to drive from Brunswick, so he'd go to 480, a little, very out of the way. But I would say, Dad, I want to drive past the airport. That's all I knew as a kid. That was taking 237 to get on 480, okay? I've lived my whole life here. I know where Brook Park Road is, okay? I know the establishments on Brook Park Road, okay? I've lived here my whole life. I know that Brook Park is 10 minutes away from downtown, okay? I'm well aware of all of this. That's not the place to put the stadium. That's not. Okay, I thought more about it yesterday because I was trying to talk myself into it. You know, it's not a bad idea in the highway. Folks, you're not getting a Super Bowl if you put it there. Matt, your infrastructure tweet. You don't know about infrastructure. They're going to build one hotel over there. One. Do you understand that when the NFL is picking cities, you know, I'm going to backtrack for just a second. You first need to go to the NFL and beat them over their head for a reason to leave Miami and Texas and California and Arizona. Here are the spots that will forever hold Super Bowls. Vegas, the LA, San Francisco, Arizona, the two places in Texas, Atlanta, and Florida. That's it. Those are the only places. I say New Orleans, put New Orleans in there too. That's it. Those are the only places that they ever want to go. It's warm. They go there. It's nice. They know exactly what they're doing. So you first have to, yes, build a domed stadium. And you might get one like Minnesota. But I'm talking about when they show up, they need hotel. Well, Matt, they'll build a hotel there. Enough for everybody what they need. Well, restaurant, you know, they'll build restaurant. You do not understand. This is the biggest event the entire year for the NFL. Not the draft, not anything else. They bring the people that control the billions of dollars worth of advertising to come schmooze them at suites and five-star restaurants. I love Cleveland. I am a Clevelander through and through. I'm not a Bruce Springsteen fan, but I'm just going to say, I'm going to die here. I was born here. It is what it is.
Bruce from Cleveland?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
They're not coming. They don't want to come here. They don't want to come here. So if you said, well, you know, we built a new stadium here, but it's like 10 minutes away from everything. And yeah, you got the IX Center. You could do your fan stuff over there and Media Row over there, but it's not going to be They don't want to.
And to the people, that are saying, and to the people, your point, Matt, of saying it's 10 minutes away, like, oh, it's just 10 minutes away. Yeah, it's 10 minutes away from everything.
I know.
It's not like it's 10 minutes away and we're going somewhere with stuff there.
Like,
it's 10 minutes away from everything.
I think people are not really understanding what the NFL wants in all of this or what they actually need. They will, and here's the other thing, they will make those, what's the word I'm looking for here? They'll deal with stuff when they're in Miami, okay? They'll deal with stuff. You know, Matt, that Arizona, you know, it's out in Glendale. Did you know that Dallas is out in Arlington, actually? They'll deal with it because they're there. I'm not, and it comes off like I'm ripping Cleveland, like I'm an anti-Clevelander. That's not me. Those others.
I can't wait for those tweets.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I say this is somebody that wants my team to win. I want the best for the city. And frankly, I want the best for the fans. Now, as fans, when they put that, if they put that stadium over there, they'll build it all up and it'll be great and there'll be parking and maybe it'll be all great. Okay, fine, okay. The dome thing where fans think it is more important to have the dome. And I think they are so conditioned that we have to do that because I get it. There's wrestling fans. You would want a WrestleMania here, okay? You're a basketball fan. You want a Final Four. You'll probably get one of those. Maybe. I guess here's my thing on the dome. People think that just because you build it, that's an automatic, like, all right, good. Here you get a WrestleMania and you get a Final Four and you get a Super Bowl and you don't automatically just get all of those things. I understand that it's more likely than not that you would, but people think putting a dome on it just, oh yeah, snap your fingers, you get that stuff.
I was told if you build it, they will come.
I know, right? That's what people think. So when you talk about the location of the stadium, I will always want it downtown. I think that is better for our city, for the because the other thing, the taxpayers and how much, and I'm maybe in the minority in this, the city of Cleveland's got to pick this up. They got to pick up some of this. And they're smarter than me with how much tax dollars gets revenue or generated and all that other kind of stuff. It's important. It's needed that you have your city, that your stadiums are downtown. That is what I think it should be. I do not understand people that think the dome is more important than the location. And we're beating our heads against the wall right now. This is all posturing. But I will tell you this. It's going to come to head a lot sooner than you think. This isn't, hey, we're going to break ground tomorrow. They need years of planning. So they need something. I talked to somebody yesterday about this. They made a comment to me. They feel like this has to be figured out by the end of this year. Because think about it this way. The stadium lease is up in 2028. I know that sounds like a long time, right? But at that point, you just need plans in place by 2025. Because then 2025, I'm sure there's got to be funding things and there's going to have to be planning and all that. And then you got 2 years to build. You got this time to figure this out or get this move. Like, it's not a quick snap of the finger. Somebody I was talking to really feels like they have got to announce a plan by the end of this year. And it goes quicker than you think. We're already in February. We're closer to the middle of February than not. And they have got to get this figured out. I do not understand people that think the dome is more important than the location. And it was overwhelming. If this was 60-40, I'd be like, okay, it's kind of close. The fact that it's overwhelming, Ryan, do you think people are just drunk on they want a Super Bowl and they want a WrestleMania and they want all this other stuff and they don't care about it?
It's 100% that, because I don't think they're envisioning what's gonna, like, when they actually experience it, go down to Brook Park to go to the stadium. I don't think they're realizing how different it's gonna be. Like, yeah, sure, it gives us more events, capability to host stuff, like you said, WrestleMania and that. And yes, maybe one Super Bowl. We're not even guaranteed that.
I'm telling you.
Maybe one Super Bowl, maybe one men's Final Four. That's cool. But to me, I'd rather not have to go to Brook Park and keep it in Cleveland, where it's, I mean, give me an argument, somebody, that why it's better there, outside of just the fact that it's capable of putting a dome there.
That's it, because that's the best spot that you have to rebuild the stadium. I am also in the group of, I would just prefer to rebuild the stadium. I don't know how that works. And I've said that. I wish they could do what Minnesota did. They really can't. My vote would be, yeah, tear down that stadium. At some point, it's just better to scrap it and restart. I'm sure that's how they feel. They just don't have a spot for it yet. So that is the biggest crux, I think, in this whole argument. They're just staring at each other right now. We'll go make a move here. What are you going to do? You're going to pay for this? Okay, no. Well, we're just going to sit here then and we'll refurbish the one that we got. Okay, fine, do that. And you go back and forth. Also, there's an element, I think, for fans, the Cleveland in us. You feel left out, right? You feel left out because a lot of Midwest cities, Chicago is Chicago, so they get stuff, right? Because it is a major city. But Detroit, Indianapolis, Minnesota, they all have a dome, so they get stuff, and you feel like you're left out. We're like Buffalo. Why does Buffalo not care? Why? They're building a brand new stadium, open air stadium. Why does Buffalo not care? Why? I seriously, put us in the same realm. Why do they care? Columbus doesn't get everything. Cincinnati doesn't get everything. Why do we feel so slighted? Why do we feel like we're missing out? We're not the only city that doesn't get this kind of stuff. There's a take that somebody had a while ago, too. And I got that about, it just matters if you win. Yeah, if the Browns were perennial winners, people would not be so concerned about what you use the stadium for over the summer. And I guess the winning it's never bothered me. Literally, even in the worst years of the Cleveland Browns, I never once sat there and go, oh, that eyesore on the lake, there goes my tax dollars. They're using it 8 times a year. I don't care. I really don't. If it means that my football team stays here, they're in a location that I like, what else does it matter? I really am blown away by this. I don't know. And I'm respectful of people that they want the dome, they want it to go to Brook Park. I just, the fact that
I want someone to come up with an argument that they don't use the word dome or a synonym for dome.
About why it should be a Brook
It
Park?
should be a Brook Park.
Well, I could give you one that'd be brand new.
Well, okay, yeah.
That'd be brand new. Take the dome away
right,
from
but
it.
you would never.
But, like,
I would
updated
rather see. But this thing, me, I don't need that. I'd rather keep it in Cleveland and have our stadium. Like, even if we made, obviously you need renovation stuff to keep it safe. But
what does everybody love saying about that area? Oh, 480 and 71 are right there.
I don't need.
It would be more easily accessible.
I don't need a stupid swimming pool. I don't need a. Obviously, that would never be in Cleveland. But I don't need I don't need this Allegiant Stadium.
Well, that's the other thing. You look at it and you go, all right, you got to put all this glitz and this glam and this stuff. And again, the people that get so hooked up on the what do you use the stadium for the rest of the year? Why? Like, that's another question. Why? There are people that are more. There are people that come from the lakefront standpoint, and they feel like it's holding us back from developing the lakefront or what Mayor Bibb wants to do or this or that. And again, it's like, I think we got other things we could focus on here. I don't know. The dream has always been, you want to be like, have you ever been to Chicago before?
No.
Chicago uses their lakefront extremely well. Now, that being said, Chicago has a lot more lakefront than we do. So they could put parks, and there's a golf course, and there's a lot of different things that you can do right next to the city, right on Lake Michigan. So you can't do that here necessarily. So what do you want them to do?
And people like I get when people say don't talk about weather being an advantage because whatever, you can take that for what you will. But I enjoy the fact that when teams come to Cleveland, you're part of their elements. What do we just see in the playoffs? The Miami Dolphins are historically such a horrible team in the cold. It is a factor whether you want to say it's not. I like when teams have to come into Cleveland.
I like going as a fan, Ryan. I'm going to be honest with you. I like going out in the
cold,
elements.
The snowflakes in my eyes. I
do.
like wearing the mittens, the hand warmers, and playing scrappy ass football.
So do I.
And I think that teams that aren't used to that don't want to come into Cleveland and do that.
And I get that that's a Cleveland thing, and yeah, some people want to be able to walk inside and take their coat off and sit there in a shirt, and it's nice and air conditioned.
Go to a Cavs game if you want to do that.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's so hard. And I think it's one of these decisions, no matter what they do, it's going to piss off a good group of the fans. If they put a dome on it, it's going to upset me. If they move it, it's going to upset me. And frankly, I think I don't want that stadium refurbished. I'd love a new one. It's all these problems that I got to figure out. They have a lot of meetings that they're sitting down and going, what the hell are we going to do? And again, you're talking about traffic surveys. Could you imagine putting that stadium there in 71 and 480, people trying to get off the highway to go to that game?
You better camp.
Dude. Again, it's easy because there's more highways and stuff. Are you sure? And I'm no civil engineer over here, but all those surveys got to happen. Utility surveys got to happen. What's that ground? The stadium's built on an old landfill. What's that ground? I don't know. How's it impact with dude, could you imagine the airport? How does that impact the airport? What are they going to do with the blimp? What are you going to do with the blimp? Can you really have that thing flying right next to the airport for 4 hours on a Sunday? Could you imagine that? Is there any stadium that would be in that proximity? Think about that. Can they really put that stadium that close to the airport? I'm trying to think if there's another stadium like that close. Could you imagine they're hovering over and Tony Romo and Jim Nantz are sitting there, we'll go to our blimp shot, and they're over in Westlake because they go, sorry, we had to get out of the flight pattern. Yeah. Hang on, there's a Spirit coming in from Florida. We got to get out of the way. We'll be back in an hour. Hang on. Hold on, we'll be back.
World's first blimp delay.
Yeah, blimp delay. Exactly, you're right. I don't know, man. There's a lot they got to figure out. I was so shocked by that. I was so shocked that people care more about the
I encourage people to let us know.
I mean, again, I think it's they want something new, and they're just all hooked up on this dome. They want their WrestleMania, they want their Super Bowl. They feel left out if they don't get it. And they know that the only way you get a dome is if you move it. You ain't putting a dome. Again, the ideal world would be build a new stadium down there. I'll tell you this. You ready for this? I would sacrifice the dome if you kept the stadium where it's at. If you told me the give and take here would be...
Well, that's my whole point.
I would give up the dome to keep it in the location that it's in. My ideal world is to keep an open-air stadium where it is.
That's the basis of your question, your poll question, because
what's more important?
Because you're realistically going to have to, not that it's up to us, obviously, but you have to choose one, probably. And I would choose to stay in Cleveland. I don't think the advantage of a dome is near worth it.
I agree with you. So that's up. Continue to vote on it. I'm interested to see if it'll sway a little bit as we go. Real quick on the Cavs. That was a solid win last night. Nets are packing it in. Trade deadline yesterday. I mean, nothing that you sat there and you're like, okay, this is groundbreaking. I feel really bad about the Cavs. I appreciate what Kobe Altman had to say yesterday because we're not going to make a move to make a move. We're not just going to do that. Now you sit there and you wait for some buyout players and you see potentially what could happen. Okay, they got Bogdanovich or whatever, Bogdanovich and former Cavalier Alec Burks, by the way. That's fine. Okay. Does he flip it? It was a bad trade deadline. You didn't get the splashy move like you expected, which is fine. The Lakers didn't make their move because, of course, they're waiting for the hypothetical potential that eventually maybe one day possibly they could talk to Donovan Mitchell and he might potentially maybe one day possibly come play for the LA Lakers.
That's everybody in the world's dream to play for LA, obviously.
You could potentially, maybe, possibly on some parallel universe, we could talk to him and he might eventually maybe want to come play for us. I can't come with any more synonyms. Maybe possibly one day. So they don't do anything. Nobody got that markedly better, in my opinion. The big trades already had happened. Pascal Siakam, Anunoby, all that kind of stuff. So I think the Cavs were fine. Another nice, gritty win for them last night, beating up on the bad teams. That's great. Donovan's officially now in the three-point contest, which we appreciate. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch that. The Cleveland Browns. Well done at the NFL Awards to Steven Stefanski and his crew. Well done. I sent the tweet that, of course,
Matt,
people sent to Old Takes Exposed.
I was laughing
I
so
did not
hard.
think Jim Schwartz was going to win. I really thought it was going to be Mike
so
McDonald.
funny.
I really did. Now, the thing is, what people would say is, well, you're talking about two good defenses, and Jim Schwartz's defense was better than Mike McDonald's. I kind of held on to, I thought Stefanski was win Coach of the Year, so they wouldn't give Assistant Coach of the Year to Jim Schwartz. And I tweeted this out yesterday. They've only handed out the AP Assistant Coach since 2014. So this is the 11th time that they have handed this award out. It is the 4th time that you have had a coach, an assistant, and a head coach win both those awards from the same team. Ryan, all the other ones were teams that finished with like the best record in their division or their best record in the AFC or the NFC. So it's a little bit of a misnomer here for the Browns. The fact that Schwartz took it down and Kevin Stefanski. Congratulations, Jim Schwartz. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. I just thought it was going to go to Mike McDonald. To Kevin Stefanski, I tweeted, I thought that was a lock. And I know it's close. He tied D'Amico Ryans, and he got the one first-place vote to go. It's not diminishing what D'Amico Ryans did. It's just the statement that you won 11 games and made it to the playoffs with 4 quarterbacks. And people tweet him, 5. I don't count that Jeff Driscoll game. That didn't mean anything. That didn't mean anything. 4. There were teams that had their franchise quarterback all year and didn't even make the playoffs. Okay, I guess Herbert and Lawrence were hurt, but okay, fine. Like, I'm not discrediting what D'Amico Ryans did. Kevin Stefanski, I know people are jumping on this. The anti-Stefanski crew, you're done for the year. You're done for the year. I'll talk to you in 2025, okay? You got nothing. You want to talk about play calling, and we'll decide who's doing that with Ken Dorsey or not or whatever. I'm going to make the edict right now, and I think we maybe need to send this clip out, right? The anti-Stefanski crew, you're done for 2025. You're not, or until 2025. You're done for 2024. You don't get to talk anymore. You don't get to bring it up. And I'm talking about games come November. I'm talking about, he didn't go for it here. Oh, my God, what a bad challenge is that. No. I'll talk to you in 2025. You're done. You don't get anything for 2024. 2-time Coach of the Year. Very deserving. I trust in Stefanski. We all do. He'll get a nice extension here coming up in a couple of weeks. Congratulations to him. 3rd
best Browns coach in history?
Paul Brown. Who'd you say is 2nd?
Maybe Schottenheimer.
Like if you want to go back to Blanton Collier and all that.
Retigliano. But
Coach Sam is great.
But I would say...
okay, so here's the crazy...
accolade-wise?
Somebody tweeted me this, dude. He's a 2-time Coach of the Year and still technically hasn't won a playoff game because he wasn't there for the Pittsburgh game.
Okay.
I know, but it's just crazy when you think about that,
right?
You're right. And you look at Coach Marty, and obviously, yes, Paul Brown is the greatest, and we know that. But, making it and missing it, you were in AFC championship games, he's top 3. I think it's certainly the case where it is. So, well done for him. Myles Garrett, it was going to be such a shame if he ended his career without winning a DPOY. And he did. Shout out to Dave who cashed on Typico. I cashed on a bet too. Thank you, Miles. Here's the thing on Myles Garrett. That Hall of Fame conversation, he might have punched his ticket to Canton last night. I really did think that. He's going to continue to get his sacks. TJ Watt crying. Did you see Micah Parsons' tweet? He said Myles was the best player.
Yeah.
He said that. I appreciate the hell out of Micah for that.
I have some takes.
Go, please do. I'm interested.
Well, I'll just start. Well, the Micah thing didn't really take. It's just funny. It's like, because the tweet I sent out, obviously, I'm saying Cleveland's Cleveland. It's like, oh, now he's trying to like backtrack. No,
That's fair.
Cleveland. Like,
Yeah.
But I haven't taken TJ Watt. Okay. I'm honestly sick and tired of Cleveland fans just talking nonstop about TJ Watt. I get it. If Myles Garrett said the same, if TJ Watt won and Myles Garrett tweeted the same thing that TJ Watt tweeted, we'd be uber Myles Garrett defenders. What do you expect TJ Watt to do? Like, you're calling him a crybaby and at it like, he's the big, like, dude, shut up.
I'm gonna flip it around for you.
It's annoying. Like,
do you know who the Pittsburgh Steelers are obsessed with? Myles Garrett.
I know they are, and I get it because it's a thing. Because
they're
like 1A, 1B.
Dude,
I'm just saying, for Cleveland fans that are crying about TJ Watt, if Myles Garrett did the same thing, we'd be uber defending Myles Garrett.
They are obsessed with Myles Garrett over there.
Yeah, they are.
They are obsessed
because
with him.
it's a jealousy. It's an envy complex.
No, that's exactly it. Their best player, our best player, same position. You're gonna keep like. Part of the things that I do for researching the show, I Google and I search on Twitter for Browns, really everywhere. I search Donovan Mitchell and I search Deshaun Watson and Chubb and all that. And when you search Myles Garrett, it is just Pittsburgh all the time trying to just talk crap about him. And he won it this year. Doesn't mean that TJ Watt's not going to win another one or that Myles Garrett is not going to win another one. Here's the crazy thing. They're both going to Canton.
I know.
I feel so confident in saying
100%.
that Myles Garrett and TJ Watt are both going to be in Canton one day. I can say that as the Browns fan that I am. TJ Watt is a great player, and he is going to go, and so is now Myles Garrett. I think when you win that DPOY, it's like winning the MVP, where it opens that conversation. I'm not saying that it's like a rubber stamp and you're in, because frankly, I don't know if Matt Ryan is going to go, but at least it begins that conversation. Then, if you continue to rack up the stats that I think Myles Garrett is going to do, we're going to be talking about him getting a nice little gold jacket
100%.
down there.
100%.
There's a lot of Hall of Fame. We love Josh Cribbs here. Devin Hester's going to go. I mean, what are we doing? Like, it's a shame. It's not as bad in the place as baseball, but there are some people deserving to. And we obviously know Clay Matthews, and I have a fear that Josh is going to enter that realm of Clay Matthews. And we just get into that senior committee, and there's just no way you kind of make it out there. But for Myles winning, and obviously it wasn't extremely close. Like, it was clearly for him. And they want to say, and even like Micah Parsons said, sometimes you got to look beyond the stats. It's not just sacks and pressures. It's the other things that do, and sometimes just your eyes. I didn't watch every minute of every Pittsburgh Steelers game. I watched a good chunk, mostly because they were on the national game with us when the Browns weren't on, or in the afternoon. We watch it. And, of course, we played them. TJ Watt had a really good season. Myles Garrett was just a smidge better. Just a smidge better. And that's why he won the award. And if you want to try to grab stats, people can use stats in any way that they want to further their narrative, whatever side that it is. I was so happy that Myles Garrett won DPOY last night, because I think that cinches him to go to Canton, which is a great honor. And the fact that it was such a long stretch, but you got Joe Thomas in, Myles Garrett will probably be the next one. I think Joel Bitonio certainly has a chance at that. That means something to me. That does. Because football, being born here, the Hall of Fame being right there where it is, that gets me nostalgic. Where, as I'm getting older with my kids, there was a good generation where I didn't have players to talk about. I sat around my dad and my uncles and working with Riz for as long, and they would tell me about Bernie. And I know Bernie. Oh, we all know Bernie. They would tell me about Brian Sipe and about those seasons. And I thought so much about that of, what am I going to say to my kids? Let me tell you about the Eric Mangini years, son. Let me tell you about a guy named Dwayne Bowe, right? I had nothing.
Over Dwayne Bowe?
As always, everybody's most popular fantasy football team name. So now that we're in this era of, yes, winning, but I'm going to tell my son, do you know what it's like to watch Joe Thomas play? Do you know what it's like to watch Myles Garrett play, Nick Chubb play, Joel Bitonio? I want that. I selfishly want that as a fan. So I appreciate that. And I know that means a lot to Myles. You were voted as with, again, not your peers because it's the Associated Press, but you are viewed as the best of the best for this year. You get to hold that crown until somebody takes it from you next year. Maybe he goes back to back. I'd love that. That's important stuff. And watching it last night, I think cinched it up. The other thing I wanted to bring up, did you see the list of coaches that Kevin Stefanski joined by winning multiple Coach of the Years?
Can I guess?
Yes. I want to pull the tweet up so that way I can go through all of it. And I don't want to be remiss on this too. Congratulations, Joe Flacco winning Comeback of the Year. I thought it might go to DeMar Hamlin. Cam Hayward winning Walter Payton Man of the Year. That's a big thing.
What? What?
No, I need to take a deep breath before I say this.
Why not?
Who? Okay, I don't normally swear on this show. I'm allowed to, right?
Dude, it's the internet. It's the wild, wild west.
Who the fuck didn't vote for Lamar Jackson for MVP? I want to know who that was, and you throw them out of the Associated Press.
Okay.
Who in the hell voted for Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson?
Okay, Matt, but as bad as that is,
I don't even want to. Go ahead. I don't mean to do that to you. Go ahead and tell me. Who in the hell did that?
As bad and egregious as I agree that is, I think it's even more egregious that somebody voted Deron Bland the defensive player of the year.
That's another one, and that's fine. That's aside, too. Maybe it's probably the same person. Throw them out. You get nothing. Good day, sir. Throw them out. Who did not vote for Lamar Jackson for MVP? That needs to get exposed. Who was that? I want the Baseball Writers Association to put those ballots out.
We need Ed and Peggy Gallup.
Send them on. Like, who in their right mind didn't put Lamar Jackson as the MVP?
You saying that?
Come on.
You swearing just got me juiced.
I don't like to do it on the show. I know we can. I don't like to, because once you start doing it, you can't stop, and then I'm going to get on ESPN National and lose that.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's not do that. Who in their right mind didn't do that? That voted for Lamar. Good God. That's malpractice, man. That is malpractice. That needs to be exposed. CJ Stroud, offensive rookie of the year.
Do you think that will get exposed?
I hope it does. Like, am I crazy for saying that?
Can I look up a list of the voters?
Hear what I say too. I think so. Yeah.
What should I look up? Just
AP NFL award voters. You should be able to do that. Because you want to know what? I would understand if you said Christian McCaffrey. I kind of would understand that a little bit. Josh Allen?
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you wanted to make some crazy kind of thing for Christian McCaffrey. I would not be as upset as I am. You got the whole list up there?
And it's so funny. I was going to say this name, bro, because I don't like this guy. Emmanuel Acho's one.
Not a big fan there.
Oh, Tom Brady has a vote.
Oh, does he?
It says Tom Brady Fox Sports, unless it's another Tom Brady. But
yeah. Do you see that Randy Moss screw up that Boomer and Gio had?
No.
So Randy Moss, Randy Moss, like the receiver. My favorite player growing up, by the way. I wanted to play wide receiver so bad because I wanted to be Randy Moss. There's also a Randy Moss that's a horse track announcer. And Boomer and Gio, one of the biggest sports shows in the world, they booked Randy Moss. And they thought it was Randy Moss, the wide receiver. No, it was Randy Moss, the horse announcer.
That's awesome.
And it was a hilarious thing on their show. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh my God. Did you see that bet that missed yesterday?
No.
Somebody put a $5 bet down.
What leg did they miss?
On all the awards. They hit Lamar, Miles, Christian McCaffrey, CJ Stroud. They had Jalen Carter.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
Who finished second. It was $5 to win $670,000.
Yeah.
I'd call off work today.
Yeah. I'd probably do a lot worse than that.
All right. Wait, you want to do Stefanski multiple coaches? You want to guess?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me. I don't need to do a pen. There's 13. Oh, I'm sorry. Kevin Stefanski becomes the 13th coach in NFL history to win multiple Coach of the Year awards. How many of the 12 can you name? I'm gonna go over under 6 here for you.
6.
6.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Obviously Kevin Stefanski. Okay.
So there's 12 others.
Ron Rivera.
Correct. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the text,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to mark them. I'm going to, like, put it in Word.
Okay.
And then as it's done, I'm going to...
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. All right, so I'm sorry. You said Ron Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
Done. Okay.
Bruce Arians. Because those are the two recent
correct.
ones. Bill Belichick.
Correct.
Don Shula.
Correct.
Tom Landry.
No.
Really?
No. I will not hurt you for wrong answers in this.
Okay.
That's
That's
just,
good.
you got to just, I just want to see if you can get to 7. Right now you have 4.
I have 4. I have to get to 7.
3 more.
Chuck Noll.
No.
No?
No.
Wow, really?
Unless Adam Schefter screwed this up and he put somebody else in there.
That's kind of that's like hard to believe.
No, it was not Chuck Noll.
Okay. Who am I missing here? A lot of these guys got to be older, right?
They're older. I will tell you this, that there are 3 that I believe you could get and push the over here. And then there's 3 that you'll never get and 2 that I think are kind of in the weeds. You might get, you might not.
Okay.
Again, these are coaches to win multiple Coach of the Year awards. There's been 12 before Kevin Stefanski. Ryan has gotten 4. He needs 3 more to win the prize.
There's that Knox dude.
I'll give it to you.
I don't know
Chuck
his first name.
Knox.
Chuck Knox?
Chuck Knox is correct. That's one I didn't think you were going to get, so maybe you're in a good spot right now.
Who the hell? Because are any of these? None of these guys are still coaching, right?
No, these ones are all done. And frankly, of your lifetime, there's only one that you would have actually seen be a head coach.
Really?
And he's been out of the game for a while now.
Can I get the year he won it?
Sure. So this guy actually won it back-to-back in 82 and 83. But I will tell you, he coached beyond that. Those are just the years that he won, but he coached way past that. He stopped coaching technically in 2007. Okay, here's your hint. The team that he was associated with,
Oh, well, is
he left and then he came back to that same team.
oh God. I might be capped out at 5. I'm disappointed. I mean, Lombardi, like that's not,
They didn't
have it
No,
back then, right?
No. Do you want me to tell you the team?
Yeah,
Washington.
Washington. Oh God, I don't even know if that helps me, to be honest with you. I
Joe
might be capped
Gibbs.
here. Joe Gibbs.
Joe
Okay.
Gibbs.
I've heard that.
All right.
Yeah, I think I lost. I didn't win the prize today.
Okay. This other guy coached the Patriots and the Cowboys.
No.
Bill Parcells.
See, those are names I heard of, but I wouldn't have drawn them.
The next 2 guys, both very well known for the Chicago Bears. Ditka. And the Hall for the Bears is named after who?
I don't know.
George Halas.
George Halas.
Halas Hall.
Definitely heard all those names.
Dan Reeves is known for winning 2. George Allen and Allie Sherman.
Allie, never heard of him.
Never. But Halas, I thought you might be able to get.
Yeah.
Ditka, I thought you would get, and I wasn't sure if you were going to get Joe Gibbs. So that, again, that is the list. And the crazy thing, again, Don Shula, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, Chuck Knox, George Halas, Bruce Arians, Mike Ditka, Ron Rivera, Dan Reeves, George Allen, Joe Gibbs, and Allie Sherman, and Kevin freaking Steven Stefanski. Those are the list. And I know a lot more goes into being a coach that enters the Hall of Fame. That's a good chunk of Hall of Famers there. And I don't think Ron Rivera might go. I don't know about Bruce Arians, but like, dude, come on now, man. You talk about that. And I do understand that of the Coach of the Year recently, like Sean McVay already has one. I think he's going to win another one. The fact that Kyle Shanahan has not yet won one is a little insane to me.
Because we talked about this ad nauseum, as we were debating during the season, the odds were just fluctuating. Stefanski, it's about the narrative of the award, right? It's all about these guys that take a low expectation to the playoffs in their first year, right? So and that was the whole D'Amico Ryans thing.
Well, and that's a little essence of what the Browns were. They were bad. They had so much bad happen happened to them that you ascend? Like, Mike Tomlin has never won Coach of the Year. He's never won that. John Harbaugh only has one. He'll probably get another one. Or maybe not. I don't know. But, yeah, that's quite the list there for Kevin Stefanski that he joins on the list. I mean, that's, again, you talk about last night, and I don't mean to make this like hyperbole or try to get crazy. I'm talking about Hall of Fame conversations here. With Miles winning DPOY, that starts a conversation for Canton, and Stefanski winning his second one. He joins the list of a lot of Hall of Famers, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse, and he's got to go win a Super. I don't think you don't go to the Hall of Fame without winning a Super Bowl as a coach. I mean, let's call that for what it is. Let's have a little decorum here. There's a standard upheld here. You got to do that, bro. He does that. He's in, man. He's in.
I mean, so
he's in.
Does us saying that he might be the third best Browns coach of all time, does that say more about Stefanski or more about the Browns?
No, I mean, because you would. I get where you're coming from, and it's not like it's a backhanded shot, but it is a little bit that you've been down for
we've
so
had
long.
such a history of horrible coaches.
A lot of these other teams, like the Steelers, have had 3 head coaches for 50 years. You know what I mean?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. Stefanski's the only Browns head coach to get an extension since who?
Well, technically Hugh, because he got one.
But
and
he was
Romeo
only still in here for 2 years.
And Romeo got one after that 2007 season.
True.
You know, and that's the thing. Marty Schottenheimer's a good coach. Sam Rutigliano, a good coach. Yeah, it didn't go great here with Belichick, but he was here. I mean, the thing is, the recent trend, since 1999, you have not had good head coaches come through here. You've tried, but it just hasn't worked. So, yeah, the bar is low from like a recency standpoint, but yeah, historically, you've had Forrest Gregg. I mean, you've had championships. You've had good coaches come through here, but you have now put it to this. And I know trust me, it's the ultimate goal for all of us. Kevin Stefanski wins the Super Bowl. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Think about that for a second. Kevin Stefanski, as already a 2-time coach of the year, if he wins a Super Bowl for the Cleveland Browns,
oh yeah,
dude, get fitted for that jacket. I'm a 42 long. Do you know your jacket size?
Start posing for your statue.
Do you know your jacket size? You're a young man. I don't know how often you have to wear a suit jacket.
I have one jacket. I don't know what size it is.
I'm 42 long. 42 long. My right arm's just a little longer than my left.
Interesting. I wonder why.
Actually, when I tore my bicep, they told me that my left arm will forever be a little shorter than my right arm.
Oh, is that why?
I guess that's what they told me. I'm not a doctor, as much as people might think I am. I'm not a doctor nor a civil engineer.
So Kevin Stefanski, then, if I'm understanding this correctly,
sure,
is only the second Browns coach ever to win Coach of the Year. Him and Forrest Gregg.
Yes.
Because it wasn't around.
Paul Brown won it when he was down in Cincinnati. So Paul Brown won it,
on the Browns.
No, that's what I'm saying. He was already down in Cincinnati.
So it's just Stefanski.
Forrest Gregg won it in 1976.
Wow, that'd be a hell of a trivia question.
Yeah, that's the only other one that the Browns have won. Would you like another trivia question? Which team has won the most Coach of the Years? Because you would instantly try to think that.
I was going to say then the Chicago Bears.
It's a good guess. And you would be correct. George Halas 2, Ditka 2. Dick Duran won Coach of the Year in 01.
A lot of dicks.
Lovie Smith and Matt Nagy. Second, the New York Giants. Allie Sherman. Bill Parcells actually won one with the Giants. I said the Patriots and the Cowboys, but he won one with the Giants. Dan Reeves and Jim Fassel. And Brian Dable. Sorry, I don't mean no disrespect on him.
No Tom Coughlin?
No Tom Coughlin on that list. How many Coach of the Years does the Pittsburgh Steelers have?
Well, Tomlin doesn't have any, right?
No.
So then you go to
and you do
Shula. Chuck Noll, excuse me.
No.
2?
1. Bill Cowher won it in 92. That's it.
Oh yeah, you just said earlier Shula didn't win.
Yeah. Only got 1. Trying to think of the legacy teams here that haven't won a lot.
The Cowboys? I mean, they have
Landry, Jimmy Johnson, and Jason Reed.
Okay.
Jason Garrett. Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, and Jason Garrett. They all won one. Yep. So, yeah, the most in history go to the Chicago Bears. There it is. All right, you want to catch a break, then do the Friday report card? All right, so we're going to do all Super Bowl, folks. We're going to line up with our friends at Tipico. We're going to get you ready for the big game when we return. Run through all the props, all the Swifty props, our thoughts on the game, and a special edition of the Friday report card. It's all brought to you by our friends at Tipico, folks. Tell me you're not geared up for this weekend, baby. Do this. Do this right now. Okay. Deposit if you haven't signed up with Tipico yet, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get the bonus bets right away. Because here's what you got to do. Actually, you know what? You might be able to. Because here's what you do. You download the app, you get signed up, you deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want with code Fontana100. There's the promo code box. You put that in. I think as soon as you bet, you might get the bonus bets. And if you do, we're going to run through all the props for this weekend.
I remember, Matt, I told you yesterday I got my
I know, you're excited about one.
Bet.
I love it. I love it. So get signed up. And even if not, write down all of our picks or go back and watch the show. Get signed up. Fontana100. Get $100 in bonus bets, folks. Play money for the weekend for the big game. What are you doing? Let's go. Tipico, Fontana100. Terms and conditions apply. Have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Fontana100. Sign up, Tipico. Getting you ready for the big game. We'll do it next. Friday edition right here on Big Play. All right, here we go. A special edition of the Friday Report Card. Getting you ready for
these are some Super Bowl numbers. I mean, these quarterback numbers, Matt. Oh, my goodness.
Super team. So here's how it works. We run through the quarterbacks. We run through some of the position groups. And then a bevy of bets with our friends at Tipico. Ryan, we got to stop. Well, we'll get to that coming up with Tipico. We got plenty of things to tell you about with them coming up. Ryan, we start with the quarterback comparison. One of the borderline GOATs and Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. Are you sick of the Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant narrative?
I mean, no, because I'm
tired of it at all?
I'm not tired of it because it's never happened before. And it's a very awesome narrative. Like, if anything, I'm sick of the Chiefs narrative. Like, I don't think it's right to be mad at Brock Purdy, right? Because you just want to, I don't know. It's stupid to me to hate on such an incredible story.
It is. And when you look at Purdy and you look at Patrick Mahomes, there are so many comparisons, man. They finished 5-6 in the NFL in yardage. Purdy, 42.80. Mahomes, 41.83. Touchdowns, 31 for Purdy, 27 for Patrick Mahomes. Interceptions, just 11 for Purdy, 14 for one Patrick Mahomes. Yards on average, 9.6, which led the NFL for one Brock Purdy, 7 for Mahomes, and on a quarterback rating, probably the widest gap between the two here, 113 for Purdy,
That's
92
insane, that's unbelievable.
for Patrick Mahomes. Which it's like, and I guess there's like this whole narrative, which people are getting sick of, the Chiefs trying to say that they're the underdogs this week and that kind of stuff. Dude, I got to tell you, I think I flipped to the 49ers. But all that being said, Brock, like, okay, if I said Brock Purdy was a better quarterback in this game, you would tell me you're insane.
Correct. I would
Statistically,
tell
he
you.
is, though. But that's why I think this game is so fun. If you took out the names and all that other kind of stuff, be like, oh yeah, quarterback 8,
Well, yeah,
right?
if you did
it's
a
Brock
blank,
Purdy.
you know,
but
yeah.
that's the thing. But that's why the intrigue is there, because it's Patrick Mahomes. And if you want to look at what he's done now in the playoffs, which I can't tell you how much I'm buying into, I think the Chiefs were with people. I think they were messing with people. I think they were like, all right, we'll do a little rope dope here. We'll go ahead. We'll try some other receivers here. Playoffs start. They go, we're going back to Travis Kelce. We're going to go back to Isaiah Pacheco running the football, and they're back to who they are, and they're in the Super Bowl. So that being said, though, the chicken or the egg with Purdy versus Shanahan on, you could find anybody to do that. I don't subscribe to that. I see plays, man. I see plays that Brock Purdy makes. Sometimes with his legs, sometimes the throw that he makes. Where I say, sure, being in Kyle Shanahan's system helps. There's still some things that Brock Purdy is doing that I don't know other quarterbacks can do.
It's a super lazy narrative, to say the least.
I don't think it's lazy because I just think it's overdone.
I think it's very lazy.
Yes, he was the last pick of the draft. He has now ascended to a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I know that there's all the big national shows.
Top 5.
Maybe a little sauce on that. Maybe a little bit. But like, it's
I get your
anything.
statistically,
You know,
yes.
like you take 2
I get
out
your
of Mike
point.
McDaniel. What do you got? There's only a couple of guys. What is Patrick Mahomes without Andy Reid? There's only a couple of guys that I think really defy their situation. Lamar Jackson is one of those guys. And it's a big piece of it, but I'm telling you, I'm a lot on Purdy. And I know there's 2 narratives in the NFL that everybody wants their clips to go viral on. It's Taylor Swift and it's Brock Purdy. Oh my God, how dare you talk bad about Brock Purdy?
I'll tell you exactly why it's a lazy narrative. The reason that it is a super lazy narrative is because if Trey Lance was doing exactly what Brock Purdy was doing, you wouldn't be calling him his game manager.
Why?
Because his draft capital. That's the exact reason why.
It was expected. It was expected.
Exactly. So now that it's unexpected, it's, he's a game manager, because you're just saying, because of his draft stock, he's not capable of this. Well, people miss out on the draft all the time, hit and miss. Tom Brady, for example, people never expected that out of him. You're not going to say, people do to this day claim Tom Brady was a game manager.
Yeah.
But that's just the stupidest thing.
I completely agree with you on that. So we do have to give the edge here. Who would you pick?
Well, yeah, well, the edge, I'm giving it to Patrick.
We don't normally do that because we usually do the Friday report card for the Browns. Yeah. But in this game that we don't have any skin in the game, go ahead.
It's Patrick Mahomes. You know, like, look at the stats. It's Brock Purdy, right? But nobody's that naive. If you watch football, you know Patrick Mahomes is hands down the best quarterback on the planet.
Dude, I gotta tell you something. I got a savory, but I am salivating and making this bet coming up. But anyway, we'll get to that coming up in a second. To the next position.
Yeah, before
we
go, Matt, we didn't really talk about this.
No, Ryan did this on his own,
so
and I want to see.
We might have some,
I think you and I are on a lot of this. Do you want me to rapid fire them and see how they come out for you? Receivers, 49ers. Running backs.
Do you want me to tell you, or?
No, I want to tell you, and then we'll do the graph. Okay. So receivers, 49ers. Running back, 49ers. Offensive line, Chiefs. Defense, I want to say the Chiefs so bad, but I think I would take the 49ers.
What about head coach?
Costa. Andy Reid.
Yeah. I gave, so as you can see here, I took your camera off, not the wrong. Oops. I gave offensive line to San Francisco, and I gave defense to the Chiefs.
And the way the defense has been playing, can't deny that.
Yeah.
We start with the head coach. They're one and the same.
Nobody's over Andy Reid.
But it's like, just talking about how much a head coach means. I get the rings, sure. And I'm not discrediting that you picked Andy Reid. I get that. But when you think about the meaning of a head coach to their team, there's no two bigger than Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid. Now, you want to know something else? I think Kevin Stefanski is pretty damn close to those two. I really believe that in importance. Like, is Mike McDaniel all that to the Miami Dolphins? I don't know. Dan Campbell, I mean, seeing how it all ended there, I don't know. But I know this for a fact, that the number 1 and number 2 most important head coaches to their teams play on Sunday. I think Kevin Stefanski is right behind them. I do.
I would listen to that.
I think with Dan Campbell is there.
Listen to that.
But Sean McVay, I think, is right there too. But to those, I guess, I'm discrediting Harbaugh and Tomlin a little bit, but I really think for what Shanahan does, they are just offensive savants. You know what I mean? Like, they see the game differently than anybody else. It's a lot of fun to watch them coach. I understand Andy Reid, and that's you bring up a fantastic point. I think at this point to say that Kyle Shanahan has gone to 2 Super Bowls, right? Or no, just one as a head coach. He was in Atlanta.
As a head coach.
Yeah, and he was in Atlanta when they messed it up. I get that. As a head coach, they've gone to 1, he's lost. Andy Reid has won 3.
Andy Reid has won
2. No, he's got to have more because Mahomes has.
No, Mahomes has 2.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
He's just gone to 6.
Because Mahomes, wait.
Andy Reid, I thought it was more than that.
Wait, well, Patrick Mahomes beat the Eagles and he beat the... No, because Patrick Mahomes has been to 3 Super Bowls.
Oh, he's only been to 3.
This will be his 4th.
Okay.
He's 2-1 in Super Bowls. He beat the Eagles and beat the Chiefs.
You're right.
They lost
Andy Reid
to Tampa
only won
Bay.
2. You're right. He only won 2. By God, he did. You're right. You're right. 1 is an assistant. All right. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan's got to get there with the rings. I totally go with Andy Reid. Quick question. Andy Reid, 65 years old. How many more years he got?
At least 5.
At least 5,
With Patrick Mahomes at the helm, there's no reason for him to retire.
I get that. Dude, did you see the report? Do you know who came to talk to Kansas City this week? Do you know who they brought in? Have a little conversation with some of their guys? Offensive guy?
No.
They brought Eric Bieniemy back. Not as an official capacity. All he did was show up to talk to his guys.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. I do think that's pretty cool. Bring him back. I think that's pretty cool. Next up, we have the wide receivers. This isn't really no question, I think.
It's not close.
But when we factor in tight ends, the fact that you take Kelsey, but Kittle is so damn close. I like Rashid Rice, Watson, Marquez, Valdez, Scantling. No. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, shut it down right there. And then also with Kittle.
You could convince me all day long that George Kittle is a better player than Travis Kelce.
Because he blocks better?
He's a better all-around tight end. He's not as important to his team's success as Travis Kelce is, but
I think Kelsey's just a smidge better. Blocking
sure,
Kittle's better, sure, but I think
I'm saying
Kelsey's
I'll listen to the
line.
conversation that you can make that George Kittle is the best tight end in the league.
Regular season statistics here. Kelsey, 984, 5 touchdowns. George Kittle, 1,020 and 6 touchdowns. The next leading receiver, so Brandon Ayuk, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns. Deebo, 892 and 7. Rashid Rice, 938 and 7. And then, dude, a drop to Justin Watson at 460 and 3. Marquez Valdez Scantling, 315 and 1. Sky Moore, 244 and 1.
What the Chiefs are doing with their receiver room is incredible.
Yeah, it is actually really good. So clearly very much here on the side of San Francisco. We next get to the running backs. I mean, again, I like Isaiah Pacheco. I'm a giant Isaiah Pacheco fan. And I think they figured out, let's get him some breaks here later in the season, but it's all him. They stopped giving carries to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. 935 on the ground and 7 touchdowns for Isaiah Pacheco. 244 and 2 through the air. The problem is Christian McCaffrey. Almost 1,500 rushing yards. 14 touchdowns to go along with 564 through the air and 7 touchdowns through the air. That's incredible. I mean...
Yeah. You would have been my pick for MVP.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Of the MVP going to the quarterbacks, if you're talking about the best football player, it's Christian McCaffrey.
Hands down. It's not close.
Everything. So it's very much to his side here. We get to the offensive line, which This one is a little closer than I think, and it has a lot to do with the fact of Joe Thuney's not going to play. So he's the guard for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's got a pec tear. He's trying so hard to make it. Here's my thing about Kansas City. It's just that Jawan Taylor and Donovan Smith just get penalties out the ass all day. Creed Humphrey, for my money, is probably their best offensive lineman, but they get so many penalties. Then you flip it over for San Francisco, and I don't know if they're quite as talented. Like, Trent Williams is the best offensive lineman on the field. We would stop that right there. But then McKivitz and Feliciano and...
Neither of them are relatively their strong areas, to say the least.
No, it's kind of funny to see that they've been able to mix it up. So here's what I'm saying. Trent Williams is the best. I think there's actually a little more depth on the side of Kansas City, but there's so many penalties.
Yeah, you could flip this either way, and I would listen to it 100%. Yeah. Same thing for the defense.
Well, now let's talk defense on this. And you went to the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you buying into a little of what they've done in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, how could you not, right? You just essentially shut down the MVP. That's really a hard thing to do. Like, not even his throwing. I mean, he couldn't even get anything going on the ground there. You pair that, Trent McDuffie's having an all-pro season. He's awesome. L'Jarius Sneed, I mean, he's penalized. I think he's the most penalized DB in the NFL.
That could be a little bit of a misnomer,
but I mean, he's good. And then you got Nick Bolton in the middle of the field, and they've got some decent edge rushers. I mean, that defense was second. The defense was second in points per game allowed. San Fran was third. Sure, San Fran, I agree, has the names, the Nick Bosa's, the Greenlaws, the Fred Warners, but I really do think Kansas City's defense is playing probably right now, as we enter the postseason, the best defense in the NFL.
Can I tell you something about San Francisco's defense?
Yeah.
And this is from some people. And by the way, I was about to say, I wanted Nick Bolton so bad. Do you know who we took instead of him?
What year was that?
2021. Bolton went 58, our 52nd overall pick, Jeremiah Usu-Koramoah. That worked out just fine. Yeah, that worked out just fine. I was a big Nick Bolton fan coming out of Missouri. I really wanted him back. All that being said, the secondary for San Francisco, not good. Nope, not good.
Javarius Ward, I don't like it.
No, and that's like some of the talent evaluators that I follow on Twitter and say they are screaming at John Lynch. Yes, you have this D line, which is great. You have the best linebacking crew in football.
Well, Baltimore does.
I like Greenlaw, Warner. Okay, fine. Roquan Smith.
I'm just picking hairs. I'm picking hairs.
I'll get you, but they're damn close. But they're screaming at John Lynch, dude. If you just had a couple of secondary players out there, you'd be in a completely different spot. Injury front, the biggest thing already happened for San Francisco. They lost Hufanga during the season. He actually probably might be their second one, or their best defensive back. For Kansas City, they lose Charles Omenihu, and that, like, people are saying that's going to be felt. You know, Chris Jones, very good. Karlaftis, all right, but losing Omenihu the way that they did with a torn ACL, that's going to hurt Kansas City here. I get the, and it's like they're close in a realm on all that. I see kind of where you went with Kansas City.
I think San Fran has more the names, right? They have the names. But I think Kansas City as a unit, I'm going to give them an out here.
Yeah,
and especially given that they've been the best defense in the playoffs.
I could listen to that for sure. All right, okay, so let me put it this way. This is not our pick for the game, because we're going to get to that coming up in a minute. But Ryan, give me the better team. As we've run through this, it's been back and forth. Who would you say is the better team?
That's really difficult. Because how are we going to define better team? Like, because I would say that the San Francisco 49ers have a more complete team. But how much does the quarterback, the most important position, play into that? And the Kansas City Chiefs have the best quarterback. But that goes...
Team.
All right, then 49ers.
They are the better team. They are the better team. That is it. 100%. And, that is... I think that's right. I think you weight it. We're talking about a weighted scale here towards the quarterback. I think the San Francisco 49ers are the better team. All right, I've been waiting all day for this. Let's go. Our typical props. Yes.
You ready?
I am so ready. Here's what you got to do. Get signed up with Tipico. Use the code Fontana100. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. Do it on Friday night. You'll get your bonus bets, and you can place your bets all ready to go for Sunday. The props are hot. The parlays are hot. I'm so excited. I am so jacked for this game. We want to start with an important message here that you got from our friends at Tipico. Can we tell everybody about the protected first touchdown bet? So this came from our friends at Tipico. Bet on the first touchdown, and if your bet loses, you will get a live bet credit for the rest of the game. We would hope, first quarter we get a touchdown. You're either cashing that money or you're getting that live bet.
I know
back.
you love that, Matt, too, because I know you're a big fan of live bets.
I love it. I'm going to be sitting there, make sure my phone is charged. That's on Tipico, folks. Terms and conditions apply. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Of course, 21 over, all that. Check it out with Tipico. Again, first touchdown protected bet. Bet on the first touchdown. If your bet loses, you get a live bet credit for the game to use on Sunday. Before we get into everything, Ryan, we have to do a little bit of the trends when it comes to this game. So I start with some historical ones here. Well, I'll ask you this. Do you want historical ones or you want the recency for the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers?
Recent ones.
All right, recent ones. Of course, we know this is at a 2-point spread. Over under, I've seen around 47.5, and on the course, on the money line, minus 130 for San Francisco, plus 110 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming into this game, overall points scored 28.5 for the San Francisco 49ers. Kansas City scoring 22 on offense. Defensively, Kansas City only giving up 17 points per game, as is the San Francisco 49ers. We go down to some of our recency trends. I'll start with San Francisco. San Francisco just 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games. They are 9-2 straight up in their last 11 and 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games on the road. San Francisco this year 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games when they play as the favorite. As far as over-under, the only real trend I've got here for you, the over has hit 6 out of San Francisco's last 9 games. You flip it over for Kansas City, 5-0 against the spread their last 5 games. I'm going to get into this trends back and forth with San Francisco and KC because I have some interesting ones there. And then over-under for KC, under 5 out of their last 6 games and 4 out of their last 6 games when Kansas City plays as the dog. I've got historical trends on the dog. This matchup, how about this, Ryan? And this goes way back because these teams don't play all that much. Kansas City owns San Francisco. San Francisco is 1-6 against the spread their last 7 games against Kansas City. 1-5 straight up in their last 6 against Kansas City. In these games as well, the over has hit 4 out of the last 6 games between San Francisco and the Kansas City Chiefs. Little tip on where I like that. Let's get into some historic trends now. The Kansas City Chiefs are the 3rd team in NFL history to go back-to-back to the Super Bowl and be the dog in their 2nd game. Now, they're also joining the 14-15 Seahawks, who went to back-to-back Super Bowls, but both of those games, they were the dog. Kansas City, dogs last year against the Eagles and lost. Won, what am I saying? They're dogs this year against the 49ers. The 2 teams prior, the 78 and 79 Cowboys, they beat the Broncos in 1978 as the favorite. They came back to the Steelers in 79, lost as the underdog. The 14-15 Seahawks beat the Broncos in 14 as an underdog. 15 underdog against the Patriots, they lost. So those 2 trends would tell you Kansas City's on the hook here for a loss. Back-to-back as a dog.
Oh, Mr. Matt, I have a stat that will defy that. I mentioned this before, though, right? So historically, when the top 2 scoring defenses in points allowed in the NFL in the regular season meet up in a championship round, that was this year's AFC, the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Ravens were 1, the Chiefs were 2. The winner of that game has gone on to win the Super Bowl 5 out of 5 times that has happened.
We go to San Francisco on this one. They were favored in all 17 of their regular season games. The only team in NFL history to do that or the only team in the NFL to do that this season. They were also favorites to win the Super Bowl entering the playoffs. They become the 10th team in NFL history to accomplish both of that in the same season. Again, you were a favorite in every game that you played, and you entered the playoffs as the favorite. Of the 9 previous instances of that happening, 7 of those teams made it to the Super Bowl. The problem is, Ryan, the last 3 times that's happened, they have all lost. The 17 Patriots, the 07 Patriots, and the 2001 Rams. Now, the 49ers are on this list 4 other times. In 1984, again, ran the gambit. Favored in every game, entered the playoffs as the favorite. They won the Super Bowl in 84. 1990, didn't even make the Super Bowl. In 92, lost in the NFC Championship game. And in 1994, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. So the trends would tell you again. And now the 49ers are on the hook to lose this game as we go back and forth. It's really interesting. As of Tuesday, the Chiefs, somewhere around 70% of the betting tickets on a couple different places, including Tipico. We talked to Andre yesterday from Tipico. The vast majority of tickets are on the side of Kansas City. Over the last 20 years of the Super Bowl, the record for percent on betting tickets for a team was just 68% on the 18-19 Patriots, who did win, and then the Broncos, who lost to the Seahawks in 13-14. So that tells you a lot of the money being on the side of the Chiefs. That might not be a good thing. The Chiefs have now covered 5 straight games entering the Super Bowl. Kansas City becomes the 17th team to cover at least 5 straight games entering a Super Bowl. When their opponent is not on a win streak of 2 or more games, the streaking team is 5-2 straight up, which tells you, again, that trend leans towards Kansas City in that one. For the 49ers, are just the 2nd team in Super Bowl era history to make the game, losing at least 3 in a row against the spread. In the Super Bowl era, only one other team has entered the Super Bowl on an against-the-spread losing streak of 3 or more. That was the 7-8 Patriots, who had lost 5 straight, and they would not win that game either. Or no, 7-8. Did they win that? I don't know. We'll have to see.
The Patriots?
In 7-8.
That was probably the first year.
Well, as Eli was 07, right? With that, yeah. That's because he screwed that up. That's right. They lost that game.
Eli was
You're right.
2-0, yeah.
You're right. I'm just trying to go back and forth with that 7-8, which is kind of a weird thing. All right, so here we are. There's all of our trends on this. We start with the spread and the over-under. Ryan, at 47.5. I am slamming the over. I want points. You gave me a look there. You don't like it. I love the over.
Well, I'm not going to say I don't like it. It was more of, so the namesake with the Patrick Mahomes, the Christian McCaffreys, the Kelseys, the Kittles, the Ayuks, the Debos, it'll tell you that this should be a high-scoring game. You have players that are capable of breaking off plays and scoring touchdowns, right? But then you go look at the defenses, right? Kansas City has been absolutely locked down in the playoffs. San Francisco, we know, has some studs on defense with the Bosas, the Greenlaws, the Warners. So it really could go either way. I would bet the under, I think. I feel like you tend to get let down in big games like this when you think that the points are going to be flying on the board.
Yeah.
But it could be that, but I would bet the under.
Yeah. We go to the spread. 2 it is. I've had a flip this week, Ryan. I think I like the San Francisco 49ers to get the win and cover there.
I cannot join you on that, man.
You're going with the Chiefs. All right. Tell me why.
Well, Matt, so the first reason being, obviously, is experience. I think if San Francisco starts the game like they have during their playoff run, right? Go back to that Green Bay in the divisional round. They were down 6-0, started off slow. Go to that Detroit game, had that phenomenal comeback because they started off super slow. They're capable of beating teams like the Lions and the Packers when they don't get off to that hot start. But the Kansas City Chiefs, I feel like it's a different animal. If they don't get things rolling right away, maybe even get first points on the board, they're going to be, and they have to play from behind the whole game, that's going to be really tough to do to keep Patrick Mahomes from just keep getting insurance points. Pair that with what I said with the experience rate. I mean, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are 2 of the most now experienced people in the Super Bowl there really ever is. Kyle Shanahan's been there, never won one. Brock Purdy's never been there, right? Debo, never been there. Ayuk, never been there. I mean, the experience factor just screams you to bet the Chiefs, but it's hard because, like you said, I just admitted a little bit ago that San Fran was the better team. So it's like eating my words a little bit, but I just can't go against Patrick Mahomes.
All right, let's get to some of the popular ones here. We are going to do our own little boost here at the end. Maybe we'll circle back and see all the kind of the games that we have here. But we start, Ryan, straight up, anytime touchdown score. McCaffrey, -240. Pacheco, -125. Kelsey, -110. Rashid Rice, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Getting into some long shots there. Do you like a defensive or special teams touchdown in this game?
No.
No, you don't. All right.
No. I mean, like, no. Not saying it won't happen, but like that's tough to bet
I
on.
got to see if I can do this. I would love to do a flex parlay on an anytime touchdown score. Can I do that on Tipico?
I don't know.
I was trying to. I don't know if I can. Because here's the group that I would put. McCaffrey, Pacheco, Kelsey, Ayuk, and Kittle. And I would want just 4 of those 5 to score a touchdown. I'd love that.
Yeah, I could.
I wish I could do that. I don't know if I can on the flex. There are rules with the flex parlay.
I just think
know that.
the tough part about that is for the 49ers, I think it's either going to be one or the other, right? It's going to be Ayuk or Debo. I don't know if it's going to be both. And you're kind of flipping a coin there. That's tough.
Okay. All right, let's go now. Passing yards. Mahomes over under 261. Brock Purdy 248. Over under on either one of those.
I just go back to last year's Super Bowl, Matt. Like, Mahomes still won MVP through under 200 yards. It's like you don't really have
I think this is a shootout. I think this is going to be a bona fide shootout. I like the over
but
more
last
for
year's
Purdy.
Super Bowl was too. Are we getting back-to-back
Should I do
shootouts?
Do you want to do like a long parlay here?
Yeah, might as well.
You want to get a nut? You want to get like a $2 one?
Yeah.
I'm talking about a $2 one. I'm going to get nuts here.
Let's have some
All
fun.
right, I'm taking over 248 on Brock Purdy. Pass completions 25 or 20. Mahomes 25.5. Purdy 20.5. I don't know if I could parlay those. Oh, they're going to let me parlay.
So you're really feeling a shootout.
I'm feeling Purdy here. Over 20.5. Passing touchdowns over 1.5 for each. I'm going to stay away from that.
I like that, I think.
All right. Rushing yards, McCaffrey 90.5, Pacheco 67.5.
Well, here's the thing, Matt. What you could do with that then, if you're gonna put the over two, like let's say, and you think the Niners are gonna win, right? So in the situation where Brock Purdy doesn't throw for 2, then I got to imagine probably there's a pretty solid chance. Go ahead, Jit. CMC would win MVP.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, they might not let you parlay touchdowns with the MVP. Just
No,
I'm saying,
if you're gonna bet, put that in your big parlay, right? Maybe hedge it with CMC.
Oh,
MVP,
hedge it with
because if Brock Purdy
saying.
doesn't throw that, but you still think the Niners are gonna win, CMC might go ahead and win that MVP.
Can I get you one that I really like? Brock Purdy over under 12.5 rushing yards. Now, in the regular season, not great. Ryan, the 2 playoff games, he had 14 and they had to run for 48 last week. I like over 12.5. I love the over 12.5.
And that's really just one breakaway.
That is. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it is. McCaffrey, 90.5 rushing yards. Pacheco, 67.5. Do you like either one of those? Mahomes, 25.5.
Can you repeat that again?
McCaffrey, 90.5. Pacheco, 67.5. Mahomes,
I really
25.
like Pacheco over.
You like Pacheco over? All right, we're in that. Receiving yards. Kelsey, 71.5. Ayuk, 60.5. I love Ayuk over. I'm grabbing that. Debo, 58.5. Kittle, 49.5.
I mean, you got to slam the Travis Kelsey over. He plays better in the postseason. I think he's averaging like 90 yards in his last however many playoff games. He's just a machine, and he can't get shut down.
Do you think either guy throws an interception? I do. I just don't know which one.
So, right, because you would probably... Well, that's the thing, though, because it's like Brock Purdy really doesn't turn the ball over, but then it's Patrick Mahomes. But here's the thing, man. I would bet Patrick Mahomes to throw a pick because I think...
I do like Mahomes.
One, he's been there before. He's way more willing to take risks, I think, in this game than Brock Purdy on that stage. 100%. I like the Mahomes.
Do you like anybody for 2 or 3 multiple touchdowns?
Right, so that's going to be your McCaffreys. Really, the only ticket I think I'm throwing on that is a McCaffrey multiple touchdowns.
Okay.
I'm not sure you'll get that great of value anyway for anybody else for the risk. So I'd probably stick to CMC for that one.
All right, final one I wanted to bring up before we get to our Taylor Swift ones from Tipico.
I'm excited for that.
Sacks. The cool thing about what they have on Tipico, folks, it's over under a quarter. So if they just get a half of a sack, you cash on that. Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Karlaftis, Chris Jones, any of those guys you like. Eric Armstead.
I think for the value, I don't have the values here on me, but what's Karlaftis?
Karlaftis is over is minus 105. So these are all about even money. Javon Hargrave is your best value. If you go over, it's plus 170. So again, just get a half.
Yeah.
Not even get a full sack, just to get a half a sack.
Yeah.
Chris Jones, Again, Chris Jones overs plus 130.
I hate betting tackles to get sacks.
I know, but it's Chris Jones.
I know.
And he's been banged up, too.
Yeah. I'll let you pick. I don't want to be held responsible for that one.
Chase Young is plus 230.
Chase Young should be on the bench.
Do we just walk away? We
Yeah.
don't force it.
Yeah. We don't need to throw
So I
it
have
in
a
there.
6-leg parlay that if I add the Chiefs and if I add the over, woo!
What are we looking at?
Plus 47.67. $10 would win me $480.
Nice. I like that.
Should I do $10?
I've seen crazier things happen.
We're cashing.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's a nice little lot. Do you want to make that our boost? No,
Plus 8,000 odds.
Oh, man. I'm getting nuts with it. I love this.
Dude, did you see Josh Cribbs' boost?
Yeah, I
Oh
did.
my God,
Plus
it's like
5,500.
Yeah.
So here's Josh's boost. His boost is, I saw it this morning. Hang on a second. I want to pull it up.
Whoa, Matt. So don't get too excited, but
I saw it.
oh, I want to talk about it.
Go ahead.
Corey Kluber retires.
Retiring, yeah, I saw
Legend. I
Yeah.
want to give us some props, man. I feel
Hall
like
of Famer. 2-time Cy Young winner.
You
Should
think
go to the
for
Hall of Fame.
sure?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, especially the state of baseball. Come on.
I had to bring that up. Corey Kluber, my favorite Indians player, I think, of all time,
Yeah.
honestly. So I had to hit the breaking news
Enjoy
button one last
retirement,
time.
Corey. Yes, very much so. So here's Josh's boost. Kelsey, Pacheco, McCaffrey, and Kittle all have to score, and then Mahomes 3+ pass touchdowns, and the Chiefs to win is plus 550.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I love it. Ryan and I got to get to our boost. We'll create that in a little bit. Let's talk about the Swift specials on Tipico, folks. Use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. All these are predetermined boosts that have a fun little name of Taylor Swift. Number 1, Delicate. The game will go to overtime, plus 1,200. I don't think so. This will be close, but I don't think so. Look what you made us do. The 49ers to score first, but the Chiefs to score in every quarter is plus 900.
So that could be a field goal, right?
Yeah, doesn't matter. You're thinking about it.
If the 49ers score first, hell yeah.
Travis Kelce, 5 receptions, 50 yards, and the Chiefs to win is Taylor's version,
Yeah,
and a
that-
plus 180 there for
That's
you.
cashing. Wow.
You like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Shake it off. The 49ers to get 3 sacks and Mahomes 3+ passing touchdowns.
49ers are not getting 3 sacks.
I don't think so either. Brock Purdy to win the MVP of the game is plus 200.
Well, the Niners have to win for that to happen.
Correct.
So.
Travis Kelce to score the last touchdown and the Chiefs to win is plus 1,000. Again, like a late game one, I could see that. You and I jumped on this one yesterday. Blank space. The longest touchdown in the game to be over 44 yards is up to 140. The Chiefs to score 22 or more points on feeling 22 is minus 140. Never out of style. Mahomes 300 pass yards. Travis Kelce 100 receiving yards. That is plus 600. I like that. Wildest dreams. Travis Kelce to win MVP is plus 1,500. I like the Mahomes 300 yards, Kelce 100. I like the Chiefs to score 22 points. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a
I just
really
feel like
good
every time you
shootout.
think it's going to be a shootout, it's a
And I know
dud.
normally it's kind of a low-scoring game and all that. Dude, there are so many people.
I just pray we don't get another Patriots-Rams like 12-3.
Ooh. Ooh. I found my flex. It's under same game flex. I found it. Oh my God, yes. I don't know if I can do this. It's going to take so much time here. All right. Of this list, McCaffrey, Kelce, Ayuk, Rashid Rice, and George Kittle. I just need 3 of those 5 to score a touchdown. That's plus 135.
I like that a lot.
You do?
Yeah. 3 out of those 5. I mean, I think Kittle and I think
I'd rather put Pacheco in there than Rashid Rice.
I
You know
would.
what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would too if I had the choice.
So the other one is Pacheco, McCaffrey, Kelce, Debo, and Rashid Rice. That's minus 110. I just need 3 of those guys.
Matt, would you bet? I want to find. Would you bet over or under half a touchdown thrown by a non-quarterback?
With these offenses, man, I would think over. Can I get that?
You think
on
we're
it?
going to see some Philly special or something?
Maybe, yeah. These are combined props to have 50+ rushing attempts between the two teams. Mahomes and Brock Purdy each to do 500, 600, or 700 yards combined. 500 is minus 135. 600 is 260.
This is passing?
Yeah. Combined rushing yards. Oh, rushing and receiving. McCaffrey'd have 120 plus receiving and rushing yards is minus 150. I kind of like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's minus
I know.
150.
I kind of like that. Do you think the first drive for the Chiefs or the 49ers will result in points, yes or no?
No.
No is minus 130 for both on that. First drive result for the 49ers, punt, touchdown, or field goal attempt.
I mean, I could see a field goal.
Yeah. See if I can specials. Because what I was talking about, a lot of people love to do on the opening kickoff a touchback or not. I wonder if you could be able to do that. I don't know. All right, Ryan, you and I got to do our boost 3-leg. You want to keep on the 3 because that's kind of what we've been doing.
Yeah,
here?
I like the 3.
All right, you want to stay away from the spread because we differ on that?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you want to go? Touchdown score? Yards? Is there one that we both... Dude, I really like the Purdy over 12.5 rushing yards.
I'm okay with that. I think definitely one time he's going to have to break away. And like
do you want to do
said,
like a 5-legger?
And like we said, that's just one breakaway run for Purdy.
What else do we really like? Is there one that we really sat here and liked?
Well, I mean, how much really is a CMC touchdown going to boost us?
It's minus 200 on its own.
But let's include it because even on a 5-leg parlay, that still will add you some.
All right, McCaffrey touchdown, Purdy over rushing yards. You want to do something with Mahomes?
Yeah.
Do you like receptions, Kelsey, 6.5? Over.
Yes, I do.
Okay, over that. We're already at plus 240. Let's get 2 more legs in here. Anything you like? Passing completions, total points.
I do really like a Pacheco touchdown.
Okay. Pacheco touchdown. We're in. Give me one more. I'd like to do something a little crazy. You know, like over yardage or something. Like, the longest rush or something like that. Let me see if I can do it. Game props. No, not that. I don't know. You tell me.
Do you want to do the Mahomes pick?
I feel that. I think here's my thing. There's going to be an interception. I just don't know when or which team. I really don't. I don't know, man. We need one more to finish this out.
Should we just do an Ayuk like over 50 yards?
We can do that.
I like that.
Player receiving. Player to receive for 50 or more yards. Brandon Ayuk is minus 225. 5-leg plus 479.
I like that a lot.
You want me to send that to you? All right. I'm going to send that right to Nick, actually. Is that where we needed to go? All right, let's do this. Our bets are in. We're going to send those out on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. Let's catch our break. Tell people about Tipico. Get signed up for this weekend. We come back. We got timeout. We'll wrap up this bad boy on a Friday. Stay with us. All right, let's jump into it here on the 9th of February. We call it Time Hop. We go back and tell you exactly what happened this day in history. Ooh, I got some bad things in Cleveland sports, I'll tell you that. Coming up, but we start just 1 year ago today. The Nets traded Kevin Durant to the Suns. The Nets, dude, watching them last night, they've tried it all, right? They tried that big three way back in the day.
Steve Nash.
They've had, Kyrie and Durant and Hart, and it just nothing ever worked. Nothing ever worked for them. And now they have nothing going for them. Ben Simmons, that's it. That's all you have. They got nothing going for them.
Yeah, they're not
Brooklyn.
looking good.
They're bad. They're really bad. 2 years ago today, former Browns offensive lineman Greg Robinson was arrested yet again.
Stay off the weed.
This time, $120,000 worth of weed. $120,000 worth of weed.
It's a lot of weed, Matt. It's a lot of weed.
We don't get political on this show or anything like that. How weed is not legal in all the states for medicinal, for recreational use. I think it's so funny, and this is the thing. I do not smoke, and I don't care if people do or don't. But when you look at two green things that come out of the ground, and you say one is tobacco and the other one's weed, and one has been legal forever and the other one's not, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, no,
I don't get it.
Well, it's all about the money.
Well, that's the thing. Now it is legal in the state. Oh, I know they're still jumping through hoops and all that kind of stuff. But, yes, there's a limit, too, of having $120,000 worth of weed. I mean, that's too much. And I think wasn't he crossing into Mexico and stuff, too?
I don't know. But people be paying thousands of dollars for bottles of wine.
Yeah. And there's no limit on how much beer I could have at my house.
Yeah.
And I think weed, there's going to be all that kind of stuff that they got to figure out and stuff. And then we know there's the dangerous drugs out there that need to be stopped, and we need to stop those from taking lives. Nothing wrong with weed. But $120,000 with it. I guess, did he go to the Costco of dispensaries? You walk in, and they're just like, you want a pallet?
There's no way he got that.
Again,
that was
how much is $120,000 worth of weed?
Well, if so, think
is that it's not a pallet
worth. Think about it this way. So, a pound is, I believe, 26. Or I'm sorry, an ounce is 26 grams, and an ounce is like think of this coffee
cup. Not that we would ever know.
Think of this coffee cup filled with weed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably eyeballing it, maybe almost an ounce, if not an ounce, right? Think about this time.
That's a lot,
times 1,000,
right?
Obviously, or not 1,000, but maybe
$120,000 worth of weed.
You'd be swimming in weed.
Duffel
Matt.
bags.
You'd be swimming in
bags
weed.
worth of a lot of weed.
Scarface replaced the cocaine with weed. That's how much weed it is.
Stinky weed. I don't have to tell you. This day, 2020 AFC Championship odds for the following season release. The Browns were 4th at 12-1, coming off the playoff run. Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore were the teams ahead of us, rightly so. I mentioned a negative one. Here it is. This day, 2011, the Cleveland Cavaliers fall to the Detroit Pistons 103-94 to reach a 26-game losing streak. That would tie the NBA record. Would you like to see the box score of the Cleveland Cavaliers this day, 2011, when they lost their record 26th straight game?
Yeah, I know my boy Booby was on there, so
very unfortunate.
Yeah, I love hearing him talk about it though. He makes fun of it because obviously it's
Well, and I saw that graphic with him on it too because with Donovan Mitchell going to 3-point contest, Booby was there twice.
Yeah,
Bob Sura, Wesley Person.
He was.
Great times. Box score for the Cavs this day, 2011. Of course, our friend here, Booby Gibson, he played 31 minutes. He scored 12 points.
I feel like I could probably name almost every player on that roster.
Go ahead.
Booby Gibson.
Yep.
Samardo Samuels.
But did not play in the game.
Well, sure. Okay. Antoine Jameson.
He had 22.
Anthony Parker.
He had 9.
Alonzo G.
He did not play, but on the roster, yes.
Byron Scott was our coach, right?
Correct.
Anderson Verjao.
No.
No?
No.
Really?
You're still missing 3 starters. Jameson and Parker were both starters. Booby was off the bench.
Was Omri Caspi on that team?
He was not.
No. I said Anthony Parker, right?
Right. He and Jameson.
Jamario Moon?
Jamario Moon came off the bench for 3. Well done.
Z wasn't on that, was he?
No. You're missing 2 bench players
Delonte
and 3
West?
stars. Nope.
3 bench players and 2 starters?
You're missing 2 bench players and 3 starters. For this game specifically.
Ramon Sessions?
Ramon Sessions had 20 as a starter.
So I'm missing another guard.
No, both these guys I think are more forwards. But it's tough because technically Sessions was your point guard.
Yeah.
This other guy was a true power forward. This other guy was like a 3, kind of. Here's your hint. They were both draft picks.
Oh.
The starters. The 2 draft picks. One was high, one was not. They're not high, but relative.
Well, was this the Anthony Bennett year?
No.
No? When did we draft Anthony Bennett?
Well, it's 11, but they hadn't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay. I might not get these.
J.J. Hickson.
I should have
had
got
18.
JJ. I should have got JJ.
And Christian Iyenga had a 32nd overall pick. The 2 guys off the bench you didn't get, Ryan Hollins and Manny Harris.
Yep.
It was Michigan State, right, for Manny Harris? Legend Manny Harris?
I don't know where he went to college. I
think
remember
it was
Ryan Hollins. Solid. That was solid.
Manny Harris was born in Michigan. I think he played in Michigan State.
I have
Anyway.
a poster. I had a poster in my room, literally, because I'm moving, so I took it down pretty recently. So it's been there for like 10 years. Had every single one of those names. I just wrote out.
Oh, God. That's not a poster I would have kept for the move, but that's just me. This date, 2006, Al Michaels joined Sunday Night Football to join John Madden on that. I think Al Michaels kind of lost his fastball, but it is what it is. An important day in Browns history, Ryan, because today in 1999, it was the Cleveland Browns expansion draft. Now, I could do a whole show on the stories that I picked up from Riz and Grossi on how bad the Browns got screwed by the expansion draft. Because what had happened was the Browns left, and then when they come back, when a new team starts, you have an expansion draft. And you go to all the other teams and you say, hey, you're allowed to protect X number of players. Everybody else goes to the draft, and the Browns can pick up whoever they want. Well, just a few years prior, Jacksonville and Carolina both joined the league. And they were both in the championship game within the next couple of years. So the NFL came back and they go, oh, well, wait a minute here. That's not happening. These other owners that spend all this money that have been around, you think we're going to let 2 snot-nosed teams just come in here out of nowhere and get to the AFC, NFC championship games and all this? So they squeezed it bad on the Browns expansion draft. The correction is...
I didn't know that, Matt. That's interesting.
So they changed all the rules. Basically, what they changed was the amount of players. Think of it this way. The Browns, every team got to protect everybody except 5 guys. Could you imagine like 5 guys on the Browns that they let go?
Scrubs.
Yeah. Who was the Browns' first pick in the expansion draft?
Tim Couch.
No. Well, that was the regular draft.
So the
expansion draft. Here's your trivia. And technically, this was the first pick before Tim Couch because the draft was a couple months later.
Oh, then I don't know if I know.
Jim Pine.
Yeah,
offensive lineman. The Browns made 37 picks in the expansion draft. Only 13 of them actually made the roster. So it tells you really how bad it was. This day, 1971, Satchel Paige was nominated to the Hall of Fame, and he set, I guess, in a record, but really what it is, he was the first ever Negro League player to make it to the Baseball Hall of Fame. This day, 1971, was Satchel Paige. This day, 1942, why we have this, I don't know, but daylight savings was instituted this day, 1942.
For the farmers.
They don't need it anymore. In a digital age,
that's a big debate.
They don't need it.
I don't like it either.
And I think it's on the docket. Is it not gone?
Yeah,
I think it's gone. I think they're getting rid of it next year.
Oh, really?
I think so.
This last year?
I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean,
I'm all for
or
it.
maybe they're not changing it in the fall. I don't. Or maybe it's not happening at all. I don't know.
just can't
They
stand
need
it
to get
getting
rid of
dark at 4 p.m.
They need to get rid of it. A very happy birthday goes out to Vlad Guerrero Sr., Saquon Barkley, Michael B. Jordan, Charlie Day of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Joe Pesci, and Tom Hiddleston celebrating. That's a pretty solid day of birthdays there. One movie for you. It's not a good movie. 2001. Jason Biggs is in this movie. Jim from American Pie did another movie that came out this day, 2001.
honest to God, I don't know if I've ever seen him in another movie outside of American Pie.
In the film, Darren's longtime friends try to save him from marrying his controlling new girlfriend, whose behaviors threaten his friends, their band, and Darren's choice a chance at happiness with his lifelong true love.
No idea.
The friends are played Steve Zahn and Jack Black, play Jason Biggs' friends who try to save him. Save him. Save him. Have you ever heard of the movie Saving Silverman?
No.
Yeah, it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie.
Doesn't sound like a good movie.
It's not, but Saving Silverman came out this day, 2001, to wrap things up there with Time Hop. Good stuff on that. All right, getting ready to go for this weekend. We're going to get our boost up on Tipico. Use that code. Ryan, your interest of the game for this weekend. You know, obviously we're not there yet as a Browns fan, but I look at it and we believe that, again, you don't think Kansas City's going anywhere. They're going to be a powerhouse to come in the 49ers. But I think watching the game is so different now that I can actually make apt comparisons. Like in years past, that's never been a thing. And we've had some opportunities here and there, and you have the belief, Ryan, I really am going to watch this game a little bit differently with the true. And I know I'm a Browns fan, and I try to do this some other times. Maybe it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm watching this game going, I feel like we could be there.
No,
I really do.
And you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And you shouldn't feel as though, you know, you're just being the Browns fan, because we haven't really had this, right? Because look at it this way. We beat the 49ers in the regular season with a litany of injuries, to say the least, with PJ Walker as our starting quarterback. We went toe-to-toe with them and beat them. And then the Chiefs, yeah, we didn't directly play them in the regular season this year, but we beat the Ravens, who we just saw the Chiefs beat. Like, we beat we beat both seeds in the AFC and NFC. Like, we were truly up there for the whole season, quite frankly, as one of those Super Bowl contending teams. Whether we were labeled that nationally or with our peers, that's a different story. But we truly felt that, and we proved that we had the right to feel that way, that we were up there with some of these best teams.
It is. And with how the NFL, there's so much turnover, there's so much parity in the league. Anything can happen, anything can fall off. But folks, we really have those goals. We legitimately have those goals starting this season.
And how big yesterday was just a culmination of
you swept
things,
it out. I mean, you swept it on out.
Nationwide respect.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because we didn't get into it a lot earlier about what these awards. Sometimes those awards are not good. Like, I could make the case, knowing that Coach Stefanski already had won it, that's kind of a kiss of death recently. Dable, not in a good spot. Mike Vrabel, 2021, doesn't have his job. John Harbaugh back in 2019, he still hasn't gone back to the Super Bowl. Matt Nagy in 18, Sean McVay in 17, Jason Garrett in 16. I mean, again.
Well, Sean McVay won a bowl.
Sean McVay did, but and maybe that's just that award. Maybe that's just kind of that thing.
I think though, like Kevin Stefanski, those like the Dables, the Vrabels, I feel like they kind of, once they hit that crossroad of a really rocky ship, they failed to navigate it. But I feel like Kevin Stefanski this year got over that as rock bottom as it can be, you know? So it's kind of like he already got over that kiss of death hump that would have bit him in the ass, for lack of better terms. And now it's just going to kind of be, it shouldn't, maybe not smooth is the word to use, but I can't imagine it's going to get rougher than it was last year.
You know, the MVP, Mahomes, Mahomes got it last year, Rodgers back-to-back before that. I mean, that award usually, those guys are all up there. They're all good. You know, they're kind of doing what they're doing. And I think the Browns putting the league on notice a little bit, those awards make me feel good. That's great. I appreciate that Kevin Stefanski won that award, and I think it means a lot to Myles Garrett, again, talking about his Hall of Fame candidacy. But for the most part, now I'm back into it. Now I'm into, all right, what are we getting ready to go for the Combine here? Like, I'm going to watch Sunday. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be sad that football is going to go away. Just wait till we get to the UFL betting here. On Tipico. Are they going to have the United Football League on there?
I don't know. That'd be pretty fun, though.
We got to ask somebody on that. I'd love that. I hope that happens. We got to get it going. Kluber's not a Hall of Famer. Somebody just said that to me. Not a chance.
I don't know.
I said he won multiple Cy Youngs.
Well,
to that person, if they're still watching, and if not, I'll just text them back. look at how bad the Baseball Hall of Fame is hurting right now. Yeah. 2 Cy Youngs gets you in, but we digress.
You want to hear, before we wrap up here, this insane Super Bowl stat? I forgot Bruce told me, and I couldn't believe it, Matt.
Bruce, I keep saying come get some. Bonus time this week. Bruce lives for trends and betting and getting into the Super Bowl. He's got the best.
Yeah, he's a wealth
of information from that standpoint.
He dove into the depths of the trends. We're wearing white and red and stuff like that. It was awesome. But so think of when I tell you this, think of the colleges that produce like the most NFL athletes.
Bama, Georgia, Ohio. Okay.
First name that you popped up, Alabama, right?
Yeah, Alabama. Yeah.
There has never been an Alabama player to score a point in the NFL Super Bowl.
Really?
So, like a quarterback, sure, they threw it, but that doesn't count.
Wait a minute. Julio when Atlanta wins?
Right, Matt. And that's so funny you brought that up because as Bruce told me that stat while he was wrapping up, first thing I thought of, I went and looked at that Super Bowl game. I said, holy crap, no way he didn't score. Nope, not a touchdown.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are no Alabama special...
There's no Alabama players on... the Chiefs this year or the 49ers.
Oh, there's no Alabama player in the game at all.
According to Bruce, yeah. So that streak lives on.
Wow.
Even he made the joke, even the Coast Guard has a player that scored a point in the Super Bowl, a kicker, I believe. Or maybe not a kicker,
with the Navy. Yeah, Staubach with the Navy and all that.
But isn't that nuts? Isn't that insane to believe?
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. That's a good pull there from Bruce. That's going to be a lot of fun to see. Dude, I'm all geared up. I'm all like, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, but it is going to be sad because football comes to an end on Sunday, man. Football is going to come to an end on a Sunday.
But for all the ups and downs, man, I'll say this, Matt. You obviously know this is really my first year into a football season. I was into the media like this.
Oh yeah, dude, it's different.
I mean, oh my God, like it was a hell of a ride, but it was so exciting for so many reasons.
It was a lot of fun, and especially us right when football season started here on this show. You know, the busy time of the year. I thought it was most interesting because this was the first full season we all got to bet every weekend, you know, and last year we got a little taste of it into the playoffs and stuff. But now that you're all lined up, we're ready to go on Tipico. Hopefully you built a little bit of a bankroll, which we have done with the Cavs over the last couple of weeks with our boosts and all that kind of stuff. So it's the first full season we've been able to bet, and that was my biggest change of it. You know, doing this job and doing as long as I have, football season is kind of football season. I mean, this is completely.
I didn't even think about that.
You know, this is completely different to me. If this is the first football season of me working, and it's been somewhere new. Wow. But now that we got the betting, you know, it's been something that you kind of throw into. So again, we differ on the game. I'm going to go with 49ers. Ryan's going with Kansas City. I love the over. We're going to send our boost over to Tipico and get going on that. Cavs are back in action tomorrow night. Does that sound right? Or do they get off a couple of days now because they're not going to play on Sunday? They play tomorrow night. They're in the Raptors. So I'll tell you, we want to do a boost for tomorrow night? We'll text tomorrow. We'll get that. We'll send it out to Tipico. Let's do a boost tomorrow night. They take on the Raptors. That should be a nice, easy win for the Cavs. We'll see how that goes. So we'll get your booster going, folks. Again, I can't say Tipico enough. We appreciate them so much for us here on the show, being able to do what we do. Get signed up with that code Fontana100. And here's what you do, okay? You have not signed up yet, and you feel like you're missing out on everything. Here's what you do, okay? You go to Tipico. You sign up. Download the app. Use the code Fontana100. You deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. But I'm going to give you the games for tonight. Hawks 76ers. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, the Celtics are 16.5-point favorites over the Wizards.
Good Lord.
Take your $25. Just bet Celtics money line. Minus 1,800.
You just gave them the kiss of death.
You will win $10. You win $10.
Or lose $10. Or lose $25.
Oh, no. You're fine. But you bet the money, then you get the $100 in bonus bets. That's all you got to do. That's what I'm talking about. That's it.
If the Celtics lose tonight.
Bucks are 14-point favorites over the Hornets. Do you feel better about that game? Or if you want, I mean, you know, place it on an even game. I don't know. Pelicans, Lakers. Lakers, home dog. I kind of like the Lakers tonight, by the way.
Matt, is there a bet for the Super Bowl? Because I'm going to reveal my special one I cooked up for this game Sunday. Do you have a prop that you're like the most confident in?
Like Gatorade color, that stuff, which is not on Tipico. That kind of gets into there's, you know, some you can do, can't do. Not necessarily. I mean, there's always ones that I love because it gets loony. How many planes are in the flyover?
How long the national anthem is.
How long the national anthem is with Reba. I get it all. What's the one that you really like?
So the one I'm putting on in a Tipico, it's plus 440. Anytime touchdown Travis Kelce and anytime touchdown George Kittle. I think I'm going to put my majority of my betting for Sunday that I'm going to put on. It's going to be a heavy on that bet.
Are you going to boost? Are you sending that to him for a boost?
I don't know. I haven't.
If you send that to him, I'll jump on the boost with you.
Yeah, I really, really like that. I don't believe George Kittle scored last Super Bowl. I don't know.
Send that in. I'd jump on that boost with you if they'll allow it.
Yeah.
I'm going to send Padone ours right now.
Okay.
So we can get it in there. And again, our boosts get up and going, and you get some odds. I'm going to text him for the Super Bowl, and we'll have a Cavs one tomorrow. I love it. Send it in. All right, Ryan. Final one.
All right. We got to. I know we don't usually do this, but Matt, we have to. Final score predictions.
I'm going to say this is a shootout, and I'm going to say 38-31.
Okay, so
38-31, San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, last year's was 38-35. So that's why I'm thinking we might get a dud.
I'm thinking over. I think
I'm going to go Chiefs. I'm going to go Chiefs.
That's it.
I'm going to go Chiefs. How about this, Matt? Chiefs 19, 49ers 14.
Yeah. Awesome. I love them. All right, great stuff. Final thing, Ryan, our bracket of the week, the winner.
We do have a winner. Congratulations to Mr. Stone Cold.
I wish we could do there's nothing like when the glass shatters, the Texas rattlesnake, the Stone Cold Stunner. I think properly so.
I don't know much, but he's the name I hear all the time.
That's what it is. Folks, really appreciate it. We had a fantastic week arguing about the stadium and a dome and all that kind of stuff. Get signed up with Tipico. Enjoy the Cavs game tomorrow night. Enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday, and we'll be back on Monday. We're officially into the NFL offseason.
I know.
Dude, Combine will be right here around the corner.
Guardians right around the corner.
Spring training ready to go. Is Padone really going to weasel his way out there to Arizona?
I think he is. He's in Vegas right now.
Why?
Yeah, he's in Vegas right now.
For us?
Not really for us, but just to go, like for the weekend.
Must be nice. I'm sure those hotels were cheap. Good Lord. Well, good for Padone. I did not know that.
Yeah, he's in Vegas.
All right, good for them.
Yeah.
Is he staying for the game?
No.
Oh, he's like coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's when you want to get out. Everybody's showing up today.
Yeah.
Vegas is going to be a crap show today. Good thing once tomorrow we're not there. We'll talk ourselves into it. Really appreciate everybody, folks. Get going here. We'll get you up next weekend. We're ready to go, or next week, I should say, after the weekend. Get into the offseason for the Browns. And we'll see, really. I mean, again, I hate to see the NFL go, but the excitement of where the Browns are at, what we're going to be working on, getting ready to go for the Combine and all that is going. And the Cavs, what a roll they have been on. Getting going as well, keeping that 2 seed. So a reminder, we'll get our boosts up on Tipico. Follow us on Twitter, at Matt Fontana Show, YouTube, Matt Fontana Show, and our new venture is up on Twitch, at Matt Fontana Show, and our Instagram, which is always very lively, at Matt Fontana Show.
John Wick made me crack up earlier in the show when you did that, like, what were we talking about? You did the plane noise? We were talking about the blimp.
Oh, the blimp, and I was like, Meh.
he said veteran dad airplane.
Oh yeah,
noise.
I'm a key on the airplane to get the kid to feed them. Really, it's the medicine. When you got a little syringe, you got to put the medicine in. And they don't want to do it. You know, I'm a key with that. I don't know how you're gonna put the blimp there next to the airport. I don't know how that works. Can somebody in aviation? We're at Burke. Is there a pilot in here? Somebody help us out with that. There's your reason number one. Don't put the stadium at Brook Park. Great stuff. Friday, big day for us. Big play, big bets coming up a little bit later today. I know we had a fresh edition of Booby a couple of days ago as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So it's all there. All our shows. BigPlay.com is the website. You can check them all out there. But just really follow the Big Play channel on YouTube. We're all there. All of our accounts are up and going. Let's get it done. Enjoy the hell out of the weekend. Enjoy the hell out of that weather. We'll talk to you on Monday edition of the show. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. It's always just a little sweeter on Fridays. And as always, take it easy.